Today, Jesus counsels us about the importance of putting God at the center of our riches, of our wealth, of everything that we possess. Many people, when they acquire a status of wealthy or rich, they put God behind. They push God aside. God is not important anymore. What is important for them now is the possession that they have. It is the wealth that they have. And Jesus in the gospel is saying, a man's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. That your life cannot be defined by the things that you possess. Otherwise, you become like this rich fool that we have heard about, who after having a bumper harvest says to his soul, my soul, you have ample goods now. You have all these crops for many years to come. Now, take it easy. Eat, drink, and make merry. But this person is a fool because he forgets about God. He even forgets that the things that he has now came from God. And Jesus says, or God says to him, fool, this night your soul is required of you. We have to understand that regardless of how rich we become, regardless of how wealthy we become, our life does not belong to us. It belongs to God. We cannot allow our life to be defined by the things that we possess. Otherwise, we become like this fool, this rich fool. Our life should be defined by God. Our life should be defined by our alignment to the things of God. The wealth that God gives us should only help us to love God even more, to be committed to the work of evangelization even more, to participate in the work of the church even more, to be committed to the mission that Christ left to the church even more. Our wealth should be a means to loving God, not a way for us to be distanced from God. Otherwise, we become just like this rich fool. This night, your soul is required of you. It is sad to accrue so much and to think you are on top of the world, and yet tomorrow to find yourself on the other side of life. You're not even able to enjoy the things that you worked for. And you find yourself on the other side of life, standing before God to give account of how you lived your life while you were alive. And what exactly do you say to God? That you were committed to his mission, or you were committed to accruing more and more wealth? Jesus is saying your life, my life, our life does not consist in the abundance of what we possess. Because what we possess is just something that is coming and passing. Today you're going to be rich, but tomorrow you may not find yourself rich. We have heard of people that have suffered calamities, and our life has just come down to almost nothingness. When you find yourself in that situation, then you realize that whatever you possessed, whatever wealth you had, was not enough even to prevent you from having or facing a calamity. It was never enough to save you from what has happened to you. And therefore, at every moment, it is important for us to realize and understand the importance of God in our life, regardless of what we have. The wealth that God gives us should be a means for us to love him even more, to serve him even more. And when we have a bumper harvest, Jesus is asking us to be more charitable than we have been in the past. To open our doors to those that might not have had that bumper harvest. To reach out to them in order to help them. If we don't do all that, Jesus is going to say to us too, you fool, this night your soul is required of you. And the things you have prepared, whose will they be? If you live your life just for you and yourself, and tomorrow you are no more, so the things that you lived for, whose will they be now? God should be the ultimate definition of what we are and of who we are. Everything else that we possess should only be an aid or a help that leads us to loving God even more, serving God even more. Amen.